To your own bents dispose you, you'll be found, be beneath the sky. I am angling now, but you perceive me not, I give line. Go to! How she holds up the Ned, the bill to him, and arms her with the boldness of a wife to her allowing husband. Gone already. Inch thick, knee deep, o'erhead, and ears a forked one. Oh, go play, boy, play. My mother plays, and I play too, but so disgraced a part whose issue will hiss me to my grave, contempt and clamour will be mine now. Oh, go play, boy, play. There have been, or I am much deceived, cuckolds, ere now, and many a man there is, even in this present now while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm. The little thinks she has been sluiced in his absence in his pond, fished by his next neighbour, by Sir Smile, his neighbour. Nay, this competent, whilst other men that have gates, and those gates opened as mine against their will, should all despair that have revolted wives, the tenth of mankind would hang themselves. Physic thought there is none. It is a bawdy planet that will strike where 'tis predominant and 'tis powerful, think it. From east, west, north, and south be it concluded, no pericardo for a belly. No Tibulet in and out the enemy with bag and baggage, many thousand arms of the disease and feels not. Oh, how now, boy?
I'm like you, they say.
Why, that's some comfort. What, Camilla there?
Aye, my good lord.
Thou art an honest man, Release. Go play, boy, play. Camilla, this great sir will yet stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor whole. When cast out, it still came home.
Didst note it?
He would not stay at your position, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me already, whispering, rounding Cecilia's or so forth. 'Tis far gone when I shall gust at last. How came it, Camilla, that he did say?
At the good Queen's entreaty.
At the Queen's, be it good, should be pertinent. But so it is not. Was this taken by any understanding pavement thine? For thy conceit is soaking, will draw in more than the common blocks. Not known to this, but of the finer natures, by some severals of headpiece extraordinary. Lower messes, perchance, at this business purblind, say.
Business, my lord? I believe most understand Bohemia stays here longer. Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress satisfy? Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart, as well my chamber counsels, wherein, priest-like, thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed thy penitent reform, but we have been deceived in thy integrity. Deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
To bide upon, thou art not honest. Or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, which hots his honesty behind, restraining from course acquired, or else thou must be counted a servant, grafted in my serious trust, and therein negligent. Or else a fool, the ceased again played home, the rich stake drawn, and takes it all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish and fearful. In every one of these no man is free. But that is negligence, his folly, fear among the infinite doings of the world sometime puts forth. In your affairs, my lord, if ever I were wilful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence not weighing well the end. If ever fearful to do a thing where I the issue doubted, whereof the execution did cry out against the non-performance, 'twas a fear which often fixed the wisest. These, my lord, are such allowed infirmities that honesty is never free of. But beseech your grace, be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by its own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
Have not you seen, Camillo? But that's passed out. You have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a couple's horn. Or heard, for to a vision so apparent, rumour cannot be mute. Or thought, for cogitation resides not in that man that does not think. My wife is slippery? If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative, to have nor eyes, nor ears, nor thoughts, then say my wife's a hobby horse, does it a name as rank as any flat wench that puts to prepare her chop plight? Say it in just
I will
right.
not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so without my present vengeance taken. Shrew my heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate was sin, as deep as that.
Is whispering nothing, is leaning cheek to cheek, is meeting noses, kissing with inside lip, stopping the career of laughing with a sigh, a note infallible of breaking honesty. Horsing, foot on foot, skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift. Hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind, with the pin and whip, but there's only that would unseen be wicked. Is this nothing? Why, then the world and all its ends is nothing. The covering sky is nothing, Bohemia nothing. My wife is nothing, nor nothing have these nothings, if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and be times for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be, 'tis true.
No, my lord.
It is. You lie. You lie. I say thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout, a mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer that counts with thine eyes at once see good and evil, inclining to them both. Were my wife's liver as infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like a medal, hanging about his neck, Bohemia, who if I had servants true about me, that bear eyes to see alike mine honour as their prophets their own particular thrifts, they should do that will undo more doing. I and thou, his cupbearer, who I from meaner form have benched and reared to worship, who may see plainly as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven hallowed in gold, mightst despice a cup to give mine enemy a lasting wink, which draft to me recording.
Sir, my lord, I could do this, and that with no rash potion, but with a lingering dread that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be my dread mistress, so soft.
Make that thy question, and go rot! Dost thou think I am so muddy, so unsettled to appoint myself in this vexation? Sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps. Give scandal to the blood with the prince my son, who I do think is mine, and love as mine, without right moving to it. Could I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do. And will fetch off Bohemia for it, provided that when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours at first, even for your son's sake, thereby foresealing the injury of tongues in courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me, even so as I mine own course have set down. I'll give no blemish to her honour, none.
My lord, go then, and with a countenance as clear as friendship wears at a feast, keep with Bohemia, and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of my heart. Do it not, thou splitst thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will sing friendly, as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady! For me, what case stand I? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes. And my grounds to do it is obedience to a master, one who in rebellion with himself will have all that are his so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since nor stone, nor brass, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. To do this or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia.
This is strange. Methinks my favour here begins to walk, not speak. Good day, Camillo.
Hail, most royal sir.
What is the news in the court?
None rare, my lord.
The king hath on him such a countenance as he had lost some province and a region loved as he loves himself. Even now I met him with customary compliment when he, wafting his eyes to the contrary and falling a lip of much contempt, speeds from me, and so leads me to consider what is breeding that changeth thus his manners.
I dare not know, my lord.
How? Dare not? Do not? Do you know and dare not? Be intelligent to me. 'Tis thereabouts, for to yourself what you do know you must, and cannot say you dare not. Camillo, Good Camillo, your changed complexions are to me a mirror which shows me mine change too. For I must be a party within this alteration, finding myself thus altered with.
There is a sickness that puts some of us in distemper. But I cannot name the sickness, and it has caught of you that yet are well.
How? Caught of me? Make me not sighted like the basilisk. I have looked on thousands who have sped the better by my regard, but killed none so. Camillo, as you are certainly a gentleman, thereto clerk-like experienced, which no less adorns our gentry than our parents' noble names, in whose success we are gentle, I beseech you, if you know aught which does behove my knowledge, thereof to be informed, imprison not an ignorant consumer.
I may not answer.
How? Sickness caught of me, and yet I well. I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? I conjure thee, by all the parts of man which honour does acknowledge, whereof the least is not the suit of mine, that thou declare what incidency thou dost guess of harm is creeping towards me. How far off? How near? Which way to be prevented, if to be? If not, how best to bear it?
Sir, I will tell you. Since I am charged in honour and by him that I think honourable, therefore mark my counsel, which must be as swiftly followed even as I mean to utter it, or both yourself and me cry lost, and so good night.
On, good Camillo.
I am appointed him to murder you.
By whom, Camillo?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, nay, with all confidence he swears, as he has seen it or been an instrument to vice you to it, that you had touched his queen forbiddenly.
Oh, then my best blood turn to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best. Turn then my freshest reputation to a saviour that may strike the dullest nostril where I arrive, and my approach be shunned. Nay, hated too, worse than the greatest infection that e'er was heard or read.
Swear is thought over by each particular star in heaven and all their influences. You may as well forbid the sea, for to obey the moon, as will by oath remove or counsel shake the fabric of his folly, whose foundation is piled upon his faith, and will continue the standing of his body.
How should this grow?
I know not, but I am sure 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than question how 'tis born. If therefore you dare trust my honesty that lies enclosed in this trunk, which you shall bear along informed away tonight, to your followers I will whisper to the business, and will by twos and threes at several posterns clear them of the city. For myself, I'll put my fortunes to your service, which are here by this discovery lost. Be not uncertain, for by the honour of my parents I have uttered truth, of which you seek to prove I dare not stand by. Nor shall you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth, thereon his execution sworn.
I do believe thee. I saw his heart and his face. Give me thy hand. Be pilot to me, and thy places shall still neighbour mine. My ships are ready, and my people did expect my hence departure 2 days ago. This jealousy is for a precious creature. As she's rare, must it be great, and as his person's mighty, must it be violent. And as he does conceive, he is dishonoured by a man who ever professed to him, why, his revenges in that must be made more bitter. Fear o'ershays me. Good expedition be my friend, and comfort the gracious queen. Part of his theme, but nothing of his ill-tained suspicion. Come, Camillo, I will respect thee as a father if thou wilt bearst my life off hence. Let us avoid.
It is in mine authority to command the keys of all the posterns. Please, your highness, to take the urgent hour. Come, sir, away!